What's up, everybody? This is Danny Mathematics again, and today I want to go over example 4 of how to solve and graph inequalities, okay? So we have this multi-step inequality that we're going to solve, and it reads 4 times parentheses 6x minus 8, parentheses close, is greater than or equal to 2x plus 34. Okay, so the first thing that we want to always do, guys, whether you're solving an inequality or an equation, is you always want to draw a line going through the inequality sign, or if it's an equation, through the equal sign, okay? Because I want to split the room. Now I see on the left side, I have to distribute, meaning that I have to multiply 4 by everything within this parentheses, okay? Because 4 is attached to that parentheses, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to multiply first 4 times 6x, which is 24x. Okay, and then secondly, I'm going to multiply 4 times negative 8, which is a negative 32 or minus 32. Okay, so I have successfully distributed everything on this side, okay? Now everything on this particular side just comes down, and then we're going to continue moving forward, okay? So I'm going to bring 2x plus 34 down, okay? So now, ladies and gentlemen, I have 24x minus 32 is greater than or equal to 2x plus 34, okay? Now what I want to do is, ladies and gentlemen, I want to identify the values that are in a operation relationship and the values that are single, okay? Now, the values that are in operational relationships are the coefficients and the variables, and the reason why you know they're in a relationship because they are always attached to one another, okay? So for example, 24 is a coefficient, x is a variable. The operation relationship between them is multiplication because it's saying 24 times x. So I'm going to put a heart there because those two values are in a relationship. 2 and x right here, once again, 2 is a coefficient, x is a variable. The relationship between them is multiplication, so I'm going to put a heart under them, okay? Now, if you notice, negative 32 and positive 34 does not have an x attached to them, right? They are by themselves, right? So I call those single numbers. So I'm just going to put an S under those numbers, okay? So we have successfully identified the type of values that we have, okay? Whether they're in a relationship or they're single, okay? So now what we want to do is we want to label each side. One side is labeled as the relationship side. The other side is labeled as the single side, and it really doesn't matter what side. You can label the left side as the relationship, the right side as the single, or vice versa. So I'm just going to just label the left side as the relationship side. So I'm going to write relationships, or you can just put a heart on top if you want to, meaning relationships. And I'm going to write single on top of the other side, okay? Or you can just put a big S representing single, okay? So once again, all the values that are in a relationship are going to go on the left side, and all the values that are single are going to go on the right side, okay? So let's just go down the line. 24 and x, they're in a relationship, they're on their appropriate side. But negative 32 is single, it needs to move to the single side. So what I need to do is I need to do the inverse operation of minus 32, which is plus 32. So a negative 32 and a positive 32 cancels out, which allows me to move it to its appropriate size. So I'm going to add 32 to its like term of 34, okay? So now I'm going to bring everything else down. Bring everything else down, okay? So on this side, I still have 24x, once again, is greater than or equal to 2x, and then 34 plus 32 is 66. So plus 66. So once again, I have 24x is greater than or equal to 2x plus 66, okay? All right, let's continue. If we notice, let's go on the other side. On the single side, 66 is single, it's on its appropriate side, but 2x is in a relationship, it's supposed to be on the relationship side. So I have to do the inverse of a positive 2x, which is negative 2x or minus 2x. So I'm gonna subtract 2x from 2x to cancel it out, to move it to its appropriate side, and now I'm gonna subtract 2x from its like term of 24x. Okay, so 24x minus 2x is 22x. So now I have 22x is greater than or equal to, and the only thing I have remaining on this side is 66. Okay? Now I'm at my last step. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the relationship between 22 and x, the relationship is based on multiplication because it's actually saying 22 times x. So in order for us to break up 22 and x, because we have to break them up to find out the true value or the potential values of x, okay? So in order for us to break them up, we got to do the opposite of their operation within the relationship. And the difference or the opposite of multiplication is division. The opposite of multiplication is division. So the relationship is based on 22 times x. Now for us to break them up, we have to do 22x divided by 22. So I need to divide both sides by 22, which is the coefficient that's breaking up with the variable. So I'm gonna divide both sides by 22. 22x divided by 22 is just x. Okay, I don't have to flip the sign because the coefficient was positive. So I have x is greater than or equal to 66 divided by 22 is 3. So this is saying that x is greater than, the value of x can be greater than or equal to 3, okay? So a possible or potential value of x could actually be 3 because it could be equal to 3, or x could be any value that is greater than 3, okay? So now the last thing that I want us to do, ladies and gentlemen, is for us to graph. So whatever number x is being compared to, just draw a line and just put that number in the middle. And just go up maybe 1 or 2 slots, and that's it, okay? So 3 is in the middle. If I go up 1, that's 4. If I go down 1, that's 2, okay? Now, since x is being compared to 3, let's put a circle over 3. Now, the inequality is saying that x is greater than 3. For us to get to become greater than 3, we don't go to the left. We have to draw an arrow to the right because going to the right represents all the values that are greater than 3. So I would draw an arrow going to the right, but that's not all that the inequality says. It says that x could either be greater than 3 or equal to 3. So since it could be equal to 3, this circle that's over 3, instead of us leaving it hollow, we have to shade it in, meaning that x could also possibly be the value of 3, okay? So these are all the values that x could possibly be. 3 or any value that's greater than 3, okay? So once again, this is example 4 of how to solve inequalities. I will come out with an example 5 either today or tomorrow. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I will talk to you next time.